Okay, let's talk about Deshaun Watson because, like I mentioned earlier, Bill O'Brien is no longer head coach for the Houston Texans. He's been fired. And I gotta say, man, Bill O'Brien getting fired as general manager and head coach for the Houston Texans could end up being the best thing to ever happen to Deshaun Watson in his NFL career. I will tell you why. A big reason why the Houston Texans the last couple of seasons have kind of flamed out and disappointed is because they were a football team that became way too Deshaun Watson dependent. More times than not, the Houston Texans would just let Deshaun Watson run around, make plays, and they said, okay, let's see what happens. It was Deshaun Watson or bust. And head coach Bill O'Brien, time in and time out, failed to elevate Deshaun Watson's game as a quarterback. And when you look at the very successful teams in the NFL these days, let's talk about when Bill Belichick still had Tom Brady with the Patriots. You want to know why the Patriots won multiple Super Bowls? They won multiple Super Bowls because the Patriots did not solely rely on Tom Brady's greatness. Of course, Tom Brady needed to be clutch, needed to be great to go out there and win those Super Bowls. But the Patriots, they had a legit running game. They had a legit defense. And they had a head coach that was willing to evolve, that was very creative, and was a defensive mastermind in Bill Belichick. Even the Kansas City Chiefs this past year, you look at them. Patrick Mahomes was not very good for 3.5 quarters in the Super Bowl. But you want to know why? You want to know why Patrick Mahomes was able to win that Super Bowl? He was able to win that Super Bowl because his team was not solely dependent upon him. That defense kept the Kansas City Chiefs in that game, and they kept it close in the fourth quarter and said, hey, Patrick Mahomes, we've got the game close in the fourth quarter. You need to go out there and make some magic. You need to go out there and make magic happen and get us over the top. We've gotten you to this point. Take us there, Patrick Mahomes. The Kansas City Chiefs were a team that shut down Derrick Henry in the AFC title game. People forget that the Kansas City Chiefs last year, when Patrick Mahomes went down due to injury, that team was able to beat the Minnesota Vikings at home. The Minnesota Vikings last year had one of the best rosters in the entire NFL. They were a playoff team. And without Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs beat the Minnesota Vikings. They almost beat the Green Bay Packers last year, a 13-win football team without Patrick Mahomes. You want to know why? Because they actually have a system put in place, and as great as Patrick Mahomes is, the Kansas City Chiefs are not solely dependent upon Patrick Mahomes. How many times have we seen the Pittsburgh Steelers go out there and support Ben Roethlisberger? In fact, Ben Roethlisberger a couple years ago, when he won his first ever Super Bowl, he had the worst quarterback rating in Super Bowl history. Going back to Tom Brady won a Super Bowl scoring 13 points in that game. The Rams only scored 3. I think that if the Houston Texans can hit on their next head coach, I think we're going to see a lot of playoff success from Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun Watson gets the right head coach for him, and Houston becomes a team that does not solely depend on his greatness to be successful, if they get a real CEO in the building to really manage things, or if they get a real general manager, then guess what? I think Houston can do some special things as a franchise. And I believe that Deshaun Watson not only is going to dominate, I believe one day Deshaun Watson can potentially become the best quarterback in the NFL. I can see some MVPs on Deshaun Watson's resume in the future. I can see potentially Deshaun Watson winning a Super Bowl for the Houston Texans if he gets the right head coach for him. But it will all depend on if Houston can hit on their next head coach. If Houston can hit on their next head coach, I truly believe that will be the best thing that's ever happened to Deshaun Watson's career, because the NFL, it's all about quarterback and head coach, okay? The Houston Texans, they've got a darn good quarterback. Now they need to find the right head coach for Deshaun Watson. And they also need to get a real general manager in there that won't trade away a bunch of draft picks and that actually knows what the heck they're doing, unlike Bill O'Brien. Not all head coaches can be general managers like Bill Belichick. So They need to find the right guy to be the general manager, and they need to find the right head coach to, get the most out of Deshaun Watson and this roster. Okay, I think that Houston actually is a more attractive job than people are willing to give it credit for. Bill O'Brien being fired might have been the best thing to ever happen to Deshaun Watson in his young NFL career, only if Houston can get their next head coach right. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.